Wilson.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Aaron's.
Here.
Winman.
Here.
Fessler.
Here.
And Knudsen.
Corrections to the agenda.
Oh, okay. Any corrections to agenda? Do you have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Aaron's,
Second.
seconded by Wilson. So we now vote on approving the agenda. On those who approve, say aye.
Aye.
Those who oppose, say nay. Motion carried. Any corrections to the minutes? Do we have motion to approve minutes from the February 25th meeting?
So moved.
So moved by Winman,
Second.
seconded by Aaron's. We now vote on approving the minutes from the February 25th meeting. On those who approve, say aye.
Aye.
So motion carried. So agenda item number 5, public hearing request by the Oakdale Financial Center, LLC, for the approval of the rezoning from CPUD 1 to CPUD 2 and PUDB site plan of Dovetail Estates Park 9 Lot 2. I will now open the public hearing on this item.
Hi, Nate Byers with MMS Consultants, here on behalf of the client. Bill DeSuit there is the applicant on this one. My apologies, I'm used to Jim running the show here. So I guess I'm here to answer any questions that you may have regarding this. I don't know if you guys want me to make an actual proposal or presentation.
You can certainly go through it if you like, sure.
So we're just looking to do the rezoning from the CPUD 1 to the CPUD 2. We have retail commercial that we're trying to bring in here. It's going to be a single building. I believe comments have been addressed. Is that correct? Again, my apologies.
I could run through the pages if you want.
Yeah, if you just want to flip through, if anybody has any questions as we go through these, it's a pretty straightforward, again, single building on the lot here.
I guess I have a question.
Yes.
Pretty steep hill right there, so how is that gonna be? Looks like it's a single story.
Yes, we have a retaining wall to kind of help with the grading there in the southwest corner and the northwest corner.
In the northwest corner, okay.
Yeah, that wall, I think, hits a max of around 6 feet,
Yes.
and the parking lot is lower than the adjacent residential
Got it.
yards, and there is a safety rail on top of that wall as well.
Oh, perfect.
And I think is that a 2-pipe rail, do you recall, or?
Is it 2 or does there have to be the third, the lower? I'm
I
not sure
don't-
if it's on the detail. If you look on the 6th sheet, I believe.
Okay.
So you're gonna grade it flat and then put a
The
retaining
site will be
wall in.
flat, yeah, and those
Yeah.
walls will kind of double as a headlight screening as well, since we're sitting down, so.
Got it.
I'm not seeing the rail here.
I'm not seeing the rail detail either.
No, there's no detail on it.
Okay.
But it will need one.
Yeah, it's 6 feet.
And this is just the landscape plan.
Again, with the wall, we're gonna be sitting down a lot lower than the street out there, so we don't have the landscaping on the northwest corner.
We'll get to some elevation views here too.
I can go through this for you if you want me to, Nate, it's fine.
If you want,
Sure.
okay, I guess I can answer any questions that you guys
Yeah,
would have then.
that's
And
fine. So yeah, if we kind of kind of want to start back at the beginning. It is a single-story building on this lot. This lot is Dovetail Estates, Part 9. Just to the east of this lot is a Dovetail Pond, or the retention area. So this is the last commercial lot we have, actually there, that isn't developed. There's a part of a lot across the street from this, but this is the last standalone lot there that can be developed commercially. It's a 8,926 square foot, single-story building that sits on here. Can be set up for 2 tenants. I heard Nate say would be professional commercial offices and retail. The parking that's on the site has to fit the uses. So hopefully they've got it figured for the commercial and the retail uses. If there's going to be retail use in there. Depending on the retail use or what type of use it is, it could be a smaller parking requirement than the actual commercial part of the building is. Commercial would be 1 to 300 square feet of floor area, and retail, chances are, would be 1 space per 200 square foot of retail. So it should work out all right as far as parking goes. We've pretty much been through the site plan. As you can see, it has its one entrance off East Grantview Drive. There's no entrance allowed off of Oakdale Boulevard other than street intersections. This is in the Oakdale Boulevard overlay plan, so it needs to meet all the design standards of the Oakdale Boulevard plan and style of building, design standards, and uses and hours of operation are all governed by the Oakdale Boulevard overlay plan. The building, I've laid the building materials there on that desk in front of you, I think. There's two different colors of brick on there, kind of a smoky gray brick. One's a little more glazed than the other one. The rest of the materials on there, other than the 2 different shades of brick, there's some siding on there, some composite siding on there. There's 2 different types of siding that are in front of you as well. The siding is white, as you can see by the samples. And then you see there's some small metal pieces there that are the window trim and the door trim and that type of trim. And those do meet the Oakdale Boulevard design standards for design. Single-story building is allowed in the Oakdale Boulevard design area as well. Hours of operation in that area are 5 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. Probably these uses won't open at 5 or stay open till 11. But it's designed to kind of be compatible to any other type of use that may be there. Like, for instance, a fitness center that's next door to them opens at 5 o'clock in the morning. Just a rendition to the sign that they want to have. So I think that's all I have for you. So if you have any questions for either myself or Nate, you can go ahead and ask. As Nate did say, we are rezoning this from CPUD 1 to a CPUD 2. The whole of this area where you see commercial development out there was zoned under a CPUD 1. And it's called neighborhood commercial. So all of the commercial uses in this are supposed to be beneficial to the surrounding area. And there's a certain area around this that those are supposed to serve. So certainly a financial center fits that mold. The other uses out there would fit that mold as well. Depending on the retail, it could very well probably fit that mold as well too. But it is land used as neighborhood commercial land use.
So why are we changing it?
Why are we changing the zoning?
Yeah.
Because the whole commercial plat was a CPUD 1. And if every building that went in there was approved under that CPUD 1, design, site plan, building materials and everything, then they could come into us with just a site plan under that current zoning. Since that wasn't approved through the CPUD 1, then the individual developments in here come to us as a CPUD 2 and rezoned to a CPUD 2. A CPUD 1 is made to take over 5 acres of an area that's larger than a 5-acre piece of ground, or 5 acres or above. So if you're going to parcel it off into smaller areas and develop it individually, then you have to rezone those to a CPUD 2.
So the only way to use this property is to rezone it?
The only way to use this property is to rezone it, yes,
Yeah.
to CPUD2. Same uses, same everything applies.
Right, right.
It just has to come to us as a
But this isn't
CPUD2.
5 acres.
Pardon me?
This is not 5 acres.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's why it has to come as a CPUD2.
I will now close the public hearing. Do we have a motion to consider approval of the rezoning?
So moved.
So moved by Wilson,
Second.
seconded by Aaron's. Any further discussion? Further discussion, so. Okay. Okay, seconded by Fessler. We have any further discussion or we just vote? Okay, we will now vote on the approval of the rezoning. Is it a roll call or?
Yeah.
Wenman,
Aye.
Wilson,
Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Wen,
Aye.
Aaron's,
Aye.
Fessler. Aye. And Knutson.
Aye.
So do we have a motion to consider approval of the PUDB site plan?
So moved.
So moved by Taylor,
Second.
seconded by Wilson. Discussion? Any discussion, Joe?
I have nothing else.
Okay. You know it's all right, Okay. So can I have a roll call, please?
Wilson,
Aye.
Taylor,
Aye.
Wen,
Aye.
Aaron's,
Aye.
Fessler. Aye. Knutson
Aye.
and Wenman.
Aye.
Seven ayes, motion carried. Item number 6, request by the City of Coralville to add the properties to the Coralville and 12th Avenue urban renewal areas. So do we have a motion to consider approval of the additional properties to the Coralville urban renewal area?
So moved.
Moved by Aaron's,
Second.
seconded by Taylor.
Okay, I'll explain this to you. There's 2 of them we're doing tonight. We're doing one for the Coralville urban renewal area, and we're doing one for the 12th Avenue urban renewal area. This is the 12th Avenue urban renewal area that we're looking at right here. This area was not in the original 12th Avenue urban renewal area, so we're adding it tonight into that. And this is at the corner of 5th Street and 10th Avenue. Off to the northeast of this is the United States Bank, and then 905 5th Street is a home, an existing home. So we're adding this area, and actually the city is buying 905 5th Street. The city will purchase that lot, and we need the right-of-way, part of the right-of-way off of that lot in order to build this roundabout here. So we're adding this to the urban renewal area, we're purchasing that lot. That's twofold here, it gets us the ground to do that, and by creating this into the urban renewal area, it allows us to use TIF funds in order to do the improvements on the roundabout. So it's basically the same thing out on the Coralville in the West Land Use area. On that one, where Red Hawk, that housing developer is developing out there. You can see Coral Ridge Avenue there, and then University Parkway comes across from the east to the west there, and the yellow lines that are outlining the extension of University Parkway, and then the lot just to the north of the larger lot, just to that small lot right there, and the larger lot over there, those are the areas we're adding to the 12th Avenue, the Coralville urban renewal area, Coralville Oakdale urban renewal area, for the same reasons. By adding that to our urban renewal area, when we go to improve University Parkway there with utilities and what have you, we can use TIF funding to do it.
Is that that same area that we talked about, the gentleman with the larger development, that there was gonna be a land swap potentially with the prison
Red
and the city of
Hawk.
Coralville?
Yeah.
Okay.
Red Hawk is actually a little bit further to the north of
North,
this
yep.
future commercial, but yes, these are the two parcels. And there's one further off to the west that maybe would come back to the state of Iowa
Okay.
in a swap.
So TIF, works, like has to freeze the property value in certain base year, right? So it was only if, when another property is added to the urban renewal area, so how,
We're not increasing the TIF area, we're just putting this land in the urban renewal area so we can use TIF funds. We're not TIFing this area, we're just
Ah,
using
okay.
TIF funds
to pay for that?
to
Okay.
do the work.
Okay. So the additional properties are not within the TIF district, just within
No,
the
we're
urban
not creating a
renewal?
TIF district for those
Not-
properties, no,
Got it.
no.
You said that was Fifth and Tenth, down by the old post office and the bank, right?
Yeah, US Bank and the greenhouse with the big magnolia tree, right? Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
So how will this property be zoned, and where that 960, is it 905 Fifth Street? We're gonna,
It'll-
would that be
It's
zoned
not likely.
residential still?
I don't know that we have plans to change the zoning on that at all. The street right-of-way and all the right-of-way for that we're acquiring from this lot, and the rest of it will become public. It'll be public street. It'll be public right-of-way.
So the house will be torn down?
Pardon me?
The house will be torn down?
We don't,
I would have.
we don't know that.
We don't know that. We don't know. We don't have plans for that house at this time.
Will it be usable after that intersection's placed in there?
I don't know. We'd have to look at that and see where the driveway could be, how close it is. It looks to me like it's going to be right on the right-of-way line, so it'll be non-conforming as far as setbacks go. So I'm assuming that house will come down.
That's
The,
what it
But
looks
that's
like
an
to me.
assumption on my part.
Yeah, I mean,
the heavy yellow line that you see
seems like we
here-
ought to think about how we're gonna use that lot then. There's still enough space there to,
Yeah, the heavy yellow line here is actually the right-of-way, so that would also include the sidewalk improvements.
sure. Yeah,
And
that's
so
right
there-
on the house.
There's actually roughly 6 feet from the edge of the future sidewalk to the corner porch of that house.
Yeah.
That would be non-conforming, but you think a lot of the new developments we've done, sidewalks are right outside front doors in some newer developments. So the idea of potentially relocating the house on the property has been talked about briefly too, but there's no set plan to either demo, move, or whatever. But correct to say, Jim, it's R1? and
It's
would-
R1.
It would stay
Yeah,
R1.
Yeah, the zoning isn't going to change.
Yeah.
We don't have to change the zoning at all, so.
It's actually a good sized lot, especially for the size of that
Yeah,
house, so.
It is. It's got some, yeah,
And the current driveway is
yeah.
in the east corner and may actually encroach on the adjacent property. But it would still be clear of Splitter Island for the roundabout. However,
Oh, up there.
if the property is reconfigured, there is a potential that that driveway could move onto 10th Avenue, which would probably be better for whoever's occupying that house.
Sure.
Since 10th Avenue is not quite as busy. But then we could alter this Splitter Island to make it possible to make it a full access driveway. So
Mhm.
those decisions haven't been made yet.
Mhm.
Any effect to US Bank on the other corner?
No, we would just need to get either permanent easement or right-of-way to make these improvements happen, but it wouldn't have any negative impact to how they use their property.
Sure.
So, and the roundabout drawn here, I believe I used the 12th Avenue and Forever Green roundabout as an example, a template. It may be downsized a little bit once we actually get into the detailed design stage, but this was just a rough layout to make sure we have enough property when the time comes.
Jim, you just need an informal recommendation from us on this?
Yes, I just need your recommendation on this.
Well, I would see no reason why we wouldn't give a favorable recommendation.
So is the current homeowner aware and,
Yes?
yeah, no comment from them? Okay.
Okay. Can I have a motion, I'm sorry, can I have a roll call for approval of additional properties to the Coralville urban renewal area?
So moved.
Roll call.
Have you made a motion to approve and seconded it?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have done that?
Yep.
You can just go aye on this, it's fine. Good.
Oh. So on those who approve, say aye.
Aye.
On those who oppose, say nay. So motion carried 7-0. Do we have a motion to consider approval of additional properties to the 12th Avenue urban renewal areas?
So moved.
It's moved by Wenman,
Second.
seconded by Aaron's. Can we have,
I guess I'm confused. The 12th Avenue is,
This is 12th Avenue.
this is the 12th.
This is 12th.
So we just voted on the one on on 965,
Yes.
on Core Ridge. Okay.
oh,
I don't have a problem with either one, but I wasn't clear on that.
We talked about them both at the same time.
okay. So on those who approve, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those who oppose, say nay. No, motion carried 7-0. So do we have any other items next month, Jim?
We do have some items next month. Submissions, or submittals were due on Monday, so we're working our way through them, but it's possible we have 3 or 4 items on next month's agenda.
Okay. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Taylor,
Second.
seconded by Wilson. So meeting is now adjourned.